everyone, I'm Stephanie Brown and you're watching Creative Guzzle. So I have played only one Dungeons & Dragons campaign. It was a few years ago and I played a drow rogue named Faluva, and she was only good at two things: climbing and archery. I made some epic kill shots with her. I really want to play another campaign, especially since I just started watching Geek and Sundry's Critical Role show, which if you don't know what that is, it's a bunch of professional voice actors playing Dungeons & Dragons. But the funny thing about Dungeons & Dragons is how incredibly similar it is to writing. Tonight's potion, drink, is invisibility. I don't know if it's going to work. Did it work? I can't tell if it worked. Do I have to wait an hour now? I'm back. Good thing I only drank a little bit of it. Alright, so I know I've only played one campaign, so I don't have a lot of high-level experience when it comes to role-playing games, but I do know that they can teach you quite a bit about storytelling. Roll for initiative! Maybe not the best idea. I caught the D20. So the first thing that D&D can teach you is don't be boring. When you're the game master, it's your job to keep the other players entertained. You can't just fill your game with unending conflict, but it's also kind of boring to have your characters just walking around and talking to people. You have to create a balance. You can build your world through random encounters and also by having your characters interact with other NPCs. Similarly, when you are the writer, you should aim to create a balance with your scenes and your story. Don't just go all Michael Bay and have explosions and violence and gore everywhere. Give your characters time to breathe, to collect more information, and to build their character. Speaking of characters, the second thing that you can learn from Dungeons & Dragons is flawed characters are more interesting. I know this should sound like a no-brainer, but it's kind of surprising how many people still write Mary Sue characters these days. So I think it's important to point out words, things, stuff. Characters who have flaws, who make mistakes and wind up in stupid situations because of it, is way more fun than someone who never messes up. As players, it's so much more entertaining to have a character like my Faluva who can barely even walk straight, but damn was she good with a bow. Or perhaps have a character who's amazingly wise and powerful with magic, but can't get away with shit because her deception sucks. It's relatable, it's humorous, and it can lead to some pretty wonderful outcomes. Shut up, dogs! Speaking of outcomes, because role-playing games are a more collaborative effort, sometimes the game will go places that the DM never expected it to go. And when this happens, the DM may have to do something that's always really hard to do, and I've actually already done a whole video talking about it: kill your darlings. Maybe as DM you have an idea that you really love about where you want the game to go, but then something happens that completely changes the narrative of a story and your idea is no longer valid. Time to throw it out the window and start something new. This same thing also applies to writing, and you can check out my whole video here where I talk about it. Fourth thing, as the DM, you're the puppet master, and you can actually manipulate some of the outcomes to work in your favor. You just have to tweak some details, maybe lie a little bit on the rolls, which sometimes can lead to even more exciting gameplay. And as the puppet master, sometimes you have to let the characters lose. It could be sad, it could be heartbreaking, but it keeps the danger real. It keeps the story human, and it keeps the tension up. When bad things happen, there's always the threat that something could go terribly wrong again. And that, kiddies, is what's called suspense. And finally, this last lesson is more related to the technical side of the gameplay rather than the storytelling side, but it's still valid. Any challenges the characters face in the game increases experience, and experience increases skill level. This is true in Dungeons & Dragons, and it's true in real life. The more you practice and work on your craft, whatever it may be, the better you'll get at it. And the stronger your armor will get against failure. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but it's still true. And you can even apply D&D skill building to your life by keeping track of your improvement. That way, when you look back, you can see how far you've come and how many times you've leveled up. In fact, in this awesome book called The Nerdist Way by Chris Hardwick, who has appeared on Critical Role, he shows you just how to do that. And I gotta say, it's pretty awesome. Like, nerdy awesome, which is even better than normal awesome. So there you have it. There's 5 things that you can learn about storytelling from playing D&D. Have you guys ever played Dungeons & Dragons before? What are some funny experiences that you had while you were playing? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd really actually love to read about it. And don't forget while you're here to hit that like button that's right down there, and also subscribe for new videos every Friday. Stay excellent to each other and keep making awesome things. Bye! Did I go invisible again?